This is the KhoodeelaarTVChannel television channel, broadcasting under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo editions. The timing for this edition is 11:30 GMT. Today, Friday, the 15th of March 2024. It's being broadcast at just before 11:20 GMT. And the first item that really must be condemned is the idiot, complete idiot, employed by Dirty Digger Murdoch on the Times, Caitlin Moran. And she says that she has written a Kate-Gate theories. Rubbish. She's a complete arse-licker, corrupt, self-seeking, ignorant, idiotic, stupid writer on the Dirty Digger Murdoch's Times. Rubbish. There is a detailed piece about Angela Rayner, and it is headed Rayner, no deceit and nothing to pay over sale of council house. Well, she'll come back to that topic about council house if the IT doesn't mess up this edition. This is an item about Chris Peckham urging shoppers to boycott Scottish farm salmon. After a record 17 million fish died on farms last year, the naturalist and RSPCA president, that is Chris Peckham, said that farm fish should be taken off our tables for good. Now, That is fine. But I can't find any record of Chris Peckham expressing any opinion about baby angel Geronimo. Because unlike the salmon, 17 million salmon that died, DEFRA was actually centrally backed by the UK government, by the UK opposition crook Keir Starmer, and most of Fleet Street in a campaign of harassment, the campaign of defamation against baby angel Geronimo. And the details, the harassment and the lies were described in the 3 High Court applications that baby angel Geronimo's mom in South Gloucestershire, Helen MacDonald made. Despite the fact that the 3 High Court judges behaved as criminals, acting as rubber stamps for the murderous criminals at DEFRA. So there was no shortage. There was no lack of information about the facts and the extent of the corruption indulged in and engaged in by the criminals at DEFRA and endorsed by the criminal Boris Johnson, who was incumbent at number 10 Downing Street. And Johnson was backed by the criminal, the cruel Keir Starmer. There has not been any sighting of the so-called caring organization called PETA, or by the RSPCA, as we have said before. Peckham is, of course, currently the president of the RSPCA. And none of the comparatively smaller organizations trading as not-for-profit charitable organizations allegedly in existence for the protection of animals. None of those has come on the record as expressing any opinion in defense of the baby angel, the innocent baby angel Geronimo, at all. And this is the 4th calendar year since the end of the last High Court proceedings, dated the 29th of July 2021, on an application by Helen MacDonald. And the contents of her claims, so far as has been allowed by the judicial bureaucracy to be published, are abundantly clear. The DEFRA lied. They're all the criminals making the decisions in accordance with the agenda and the narrative of the criminals at DEFRA. Lied, as did the High Court judge, the criminal liar Griffiths, and as did his predecessor in the previous sitting, the criminal liar Murray. The so-called debate, the row over the suspension by the Starmer-fronted Zionist Labour Party, racist Labour Party, leadership so-called of Diane Abbott, has only come into the news now this week because Diane Abbott has got a kind of vicarious rehabilitation of image by the publication of the fact and the details of the racist Frank Hester denouncing Diane Abbott as ugly and deserving to be shot because of her ugliness. This has actually produced a rarely seen rallying of people in support of Diane Abbott as an objectively definable victim of extreme racism, extreme sexism. And this is putting pressure on the Zionist racist liar Keir Starmer to restore the whip, as they say, to cover Diane Abbott as a Labour Party member in the House of Commons. Whenever the election takes place this year, and it is bound to happen this year, 2024, if Diane Abbott stands as a Labour Party member, it is likely that she will be the beneficiary of a bigger number of votes because of this very rarely seen event. Favorable media coverage relating to Diane Abbott. We have not seen anything as this particular phenomenon, which is a favorable few days of news coverage concerning Diane Abbott. Now, our campaign has always been very clear about Diane Abbott. And Keith Sleaze was, and the ghastly, corrupt, violent thug Barney Grant, and the crook Paul Boateng. Because those four were paraded in the late 1980s as members of the Labour Party black section and candidates as black section candidates for the first time for election to the House of Commons, which they successfully won in 1987. We have made clear that these four were corrupt, they played stooge parts and served their own careers. This applies as much to Diana Abbott as to the others. But as she is the only MP now from 1987, I think she has a duty to discharge the obligations that fell on her, because she wore that T-shirt, black section, and for several years was paraded as the Labour Party's poster girl for black section. When she became elected at the 1987 election, and she has got elected every single election since then, Diana Abbott didn't take any initiative against racism. Nor did the other three when they were still members of parliament. And Diana Abbott still hasn't made one single statement that actually shows that she understands racism and condemns it, that she understands imperialism and condemns it. In fact, when the anti-Muslim criminals were propping up the Satan Rushdie, and they published a number of statements in support of Satan Rushdie, Diana Abbott actually was included on the list as backing Satan Rushdie. Anyone who backed Satan Rushdie about the confections of satanic verses and says that they're doing the backing on an alleged ground of free speech, etc., is of course lying and is ignorant. Satanic verses, the particular contents that enrage the Muslims, are not part of the freedom of speech platform. These are inventions intentionally created by Satan, by satanic influences. So if Satan has got any right to confect that lie, then Muslims have as much right to oppose that confection, which is the most the Muslims did. And in her support of Satan Rushdie, Dirty Di Abbott failed to express any understanding for the Muslim stand. That is evidence of her limitation, her intellectual limitation, and her mental slavery to the racists. Having said all of that, we still believe that Diana Abbott was targeted by the Frank Festa, the racist, in a racist way, and that the racist mental slave, Rishi Sunak, has behaved in an accordingly racist way. Sunak only shifted with criminal dishonesty. When the mental slave Kemi Bad Enoch issued an opinion saying that Fester's attack on Diana Abbott was racist. That actually shows the racist nature of the UK Parliament, UK government, UK political party, UK judiciary. Because although Fester condemned Diana Abbott in the racist comments he made in 2019, no platform, no avenue, no regulatory agency came into force, into play, to defend Diana Abbott from this kind of vilification. And in the years since Shamima Begum was robbed of her British by birth nationality by the mental slave stupid Zabid, Diana Abbott has not made any comment. Not that I can place it anywhere. So Diana Abbott is actually somebody whose capacity, intellectual capacity and remits are very limited. Despite all of that, she is entitled to be not attacked in the way that Festa has done. Having said all of that, how does the racist criminal liar Lindsay Foyle, who is sitting as Speaker in the House of Commons as we do this broadcast, how does the criminal Foyle how does Lindsay, the racist Foyle, justify looking at Diana Abbott, who stood, according to Sky News, 46 times during the Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday? Asking, wanting to speak about her being attacked by Festa. How did Foyle justify denying Diana Abbott that space, that spot? I think all evidence suggests that Foyle has actually lost all credibility and should be sacked as Speaker. If somebody like Jess Phillips, who is a racist herself and is an opportunist MP for Birmingham, for a Birmingham constituency, if she and the racist Angela Rayner, two of the more widely publicized members of parliament as women members of parliament for the Labour Party. If those two races can openly call for Starmer to withdraw the suspension on Diane Abbott, then it shows that Starmer is even more unfit for purpose than we had been calling him when we have been describing him as the political murderer of the Labour Party. Back to Diane Abbott's career as a member of parliament. Before she became a member of parliament, Dirty Di Abbott was employed in a token capacity by Ken Still Livingstone at the Greater London Council, in the press office of the GLC. Whenever I had encounters with her during the 1980s when she was in the press office, Dirty Di Abbott completely failed. She is really incompetent. She is intellectually very backward. And when it comes to dealing with me, an Asian Muslim person, she is full of contempt, hostility, obstruction, all of which she exhibited, especially because I had opposed her and exposed her as a liar openly at a public gathering for the Black Media Workers Association, which I helped found in 1980. So having said all of that about Diane Abbott's own prejudice and own prejudice against Muslims, against Asians, I still believe that she is entitled to have her suspension as a Labour Party member withdrawn. We shall return to Diane Abbott in due course, of course. Members of Parliament have given themselves a pay rise. Now, this is a criminal parliament. Parliament of criminals. They have raised it to £90,000 per year. And that is before the parks and the expenses are included. There is a piece on page 4 of the Times today headed "Council Yields to Palestinian Flag Objectors." Says James Beale, Social Affairs Editor. A London council will remove Palestinian flags after receiving hundreds of complaints from residents, including Jewish people, distressed by their presence. Tower hamlets in East London initially decided against removing the flags hung on lampposts and in high streets so as not to destabilize community cohesion. However, residents protested and UK lawyers for Israel threatened legal action, arguing that the hanging of the flags and the council's failure to take reasonable steps to remove them breached the Town and County Planning Act. They are believed to have said that the flags could encourage violence against Jewish people. Lutfur Rahman, the mayor of Tar Hamlet, said on Wednesday the flags should be removed. He denied that they were symbols of division, saying they were symbols of solidarity and sympathy for those enduring extreme suffering in Gaza. However, he said he now felt they were being used to unfairly attack the people of the Bara and further the Islamophobic narrative. In the 2021 census, Tar Hamlets had the largest Muslim population of any local authority area at 39.9%. Tar Hamlets Council said yesterday, until now, the council had decided not to remove the flags because we believe it could destabilize community cohesion. Our decision has been informed in liaison with the Metropolitan Police and the Tension Monitoring Group. The council said that since October it had received 290 complaints or inquiries about flags, graffiti, or stickers relating to the council, to the conflict. It is corrupt to the core. Gove is a crook, Starmer is a crook, Sunak is a crook, and these racist Zionists Now there is a piece in I've left that particular one incomplete. I'll come back to that. There is a piece on page 24 as a comment in the Times, page 24 of the Times. Pet care ripoff is a case of bad capitalism. And it says profiteering by bat chains and children's homes will only bolster appeal of socialism to the young. Fuck off. When the baby angel Geronimo was being targeted by the liars at DEFRA, the DEFRA liars were not targeting baby angel Geronimo as capitalists, but as cruel fascists. In any case, there is no evidence that government policy, such as the attacks on the baby angel Geronimo, has played any significant part in the formation in the minds of the young people of a political choice. Because socialism, as defined even in the USSR or Russia, is non-existent. And socialists, those who claim to be socialists either in the UK or Sweden or anywhere else in the Western countries, capitalism controlled Western countries, is a mere slogan. All the socialists are also racists. All the socialists are also anti-Muslim. Now, there is a cartoon by Peter Brooks about the racist Zionist Michael Gove. There were 6 drawings of Gove under the heading before define extremism, please, Mr. Gove. And all 5 of the 6 images are blank. The 6th one says, then again, he may have had enough of experts. This is an attribution to Gove himself, which sums up ghastly Gove. Under due diligence, the first editorial in the Times today says, proposals to list extremist groups that pose a threat to democracy will provide useful guidance to public bodies who might unwittingly grant them a spurious legitimacy. Fuck the Times leader writer. There is a Nigerian mental slave, Ben Okri, described as a novelist and poet. The Feminist Road 1991. The Last Gift of the Master Artist 2022. And the creep is aged 65 today. Well, Birmingham Live and Birmingham Mail editor Graham Brown has condemned William Hague for his piece on local journalism published in the Times recently. And the NUJ's senior organizer, National Union of Journalists, Chris Morley, has backed the BBC and indirectly complimented William Hague. We shall be continuing this narrative, world exclusive original diagnostic narrative. And there is a Chinese origin woman being featured in Bricks and Mortar on the Times section about property, saying London creatives heading to Glasgow. She is one of the ones that have moved to Glasgow. But the piece about property in London and property prices is typically ignorant and antisocial and corrupt. That both the Daily Mail and the scum appear to be changing their stance of hostility against Harry. For example, in the Daily Mail, it says that Diana would knock their heads together. There is two brothers, Harry and Williams. And the scum heading that Williams has avoided listening to Harry's speech, a tribute to their mother. Ending this one at 45 minutes at 12:05 GMT on Friday the 15th of March 2024.